Today on MUFC Pulse, we'll dive into some incredibly intriguing news. Amorim makes his Premier League return, and Man United receive a timely boost ahead of the Brentford clash. For more on this story, check out the video. We also have some equally exciting football news coming up, so stay tuned until the end to catch it all. Welcome to MUFC Pulse. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for more updates. Ruben Amorim set for Premier League return. Word on the street is that Ruben Amorim is being courted by a Premier League outfit ahead of the 2026-2027 campaign. Specifically, Crystal Palace's interest in Amorim has become the talk of the top flight. The South London side, based at Selhurst Park, are reportedly eyeing the former Manchester United boss as their prime candidate to take over the reins from Oliver Glasner next season. Given that Amorim has been unattached since parting ways with Old Trafford in January 2026, he's a particularly tempting prospect for the Palace board. They could snap him up as a free agent without having to fork out a hefty compensation package. Even though his stint at Manchester United was a bit of a damp squib, Amorim's stock remains high thanks to his previous silverware-laden run with Sporting CP. On the tactical front, his penchant for a back three system is seen as a cracking fit for the current Eagles squad. This move is being viewed as a savvy bit of business to ensure a seamless transition in the dugout without the need to tear up the existing tactical blueprint. While Palace are said to be leading the chase, they'll still have to fend off interest from elsewhere, with whispers of Chelsea also keeping tabs on the situation. For Amorim himself, this looks like a massive opportunity to set the record straight in English football and rebuild his reputation after a tough paper round in Manchester. Good news for Manchester United ahead of Brentford clash. Manchester United are set to face Brentford for their 34th Premier League fixture on Monday night at Old Trafford. United are determined to secure their spot for next season's Champions League, which currently remains slightly uncertain. In these remaining Premier League matches, United are admittedly quite far from slipping down into the Europa League. That position is currently occupied by Brighton, who are unbeaten in their last 5 outings, picking up just a single draw. Consequently, United must make the most of these remaining games if they wish to avoid being relegated to the Europa League spots. Meanwhile, Brentford have been showing a rather unique bit of form in the Premier League this season, proving to be a side that is incredibly tough to beat, but one that also struggles to actually see out a victory. In their last 5 matches, Keith Andrews' men have recorded a remarkable run of 5 consecutive draws. This trend has further cemented their status as the league's draw kings this term, with their most recent results being a goalless stalemate against Fulham and a dramatic draw at home to Everton. Despite being unbeaten in their last 6 matches, this failure to bag all 3 points has kept them stuck in mid-table. Currently, Brentford sit 9th in the provisional standings with 48 points from 33 matches. Their position is highly competitive as they are level on points with Chelsea in 8th and just a single point ahead of Everton below them. The clinical form of Igor Thiago, who has already netted 21 goals this season, remains the club's primary outlet. The next big test for the Bees will be defending their unbeaten record as they travel to Old Trafford to take on a massive challenge from Manchester United. That challenge is made even tougher by the fact that 7 players are currently sidelined and have been ruled out of the United clash. Veteran midfielder Jordan Henderson is confirmed to miss the match. He reportedly suffered a knock during the international break and has been out of action since the end of March. Joshua Da Silva is still recovering from a long-term knee injury, having suffered a very serious knee issue back in February 2024. Although Joshua Da Silva has started returning to training on the grass, Keith Andrews confirmed that the midfielder remains out and is not yet available for this fixture. Fabio Carvalho is still in a long period of recovery after suffering an ACL injury at the end of 2025. Keith Andrews confirmed that he is one of the players unlikely to play again for the remainder of this season. The medical team's main priority is getting him fully fit for the upcoming preseason. Much like Fabio Carvalho, Anthony Malambo also suffered an ACL injury while on duty with the Netherlands under-21 national team. Keith Andrews stressed that Malambo will receive the best possible medical and mental support from the club. Vitaly Janelt is suffering from a broken metatarsal, an injury sustained during the match against Brighton and Hove Albion in early March. Keith Andrews confirmed that Janelt is back on grass and carrying out individual training sessions. However, he is not yet ready to compete. Rico Henry is out with a fairly serious hamstring injury picked up during Brentford's draw against Bournemouth in early March. He is also ruled out against United and continues to train separately from the first-team squad. Furo is sidelined with a groin strain after picking up a knock in training just 3 days before the Everton match on April 11th. He is confirmed to miss the Manchester United game and is expected to return to the pitch in early May 2026. Beyond the injury talk, Keith Andrews also shared his perspective on the challenge of facing Michael Carrick's side. He acknowledged that Manchester United are in cracking form under Carrick, especially with the massive contribution of Bruno Fernandes. Andrews wants his players to stay on the front foot and enjoy the challenge of playing at such a historic stadium as Old Trafford. For him, a moment at such a special venue must be met with bravery and a desire to enjoy the game. Even though Brentford arrived somewhat hamstrung by a wave of injuries, the motivation to nick a point at the Theatre of Dreams remains a genuine threat to a United defense that still shows the occasional lapse. On the other hand, Manchester United head into the game full of confidence after Michael Carrick successfully injected tactical stability into the Red Devil squad. Carrick's current focus is on improving their home record to ensure Old Trafford remains a fortress for visiting teams. With the ambition of wrapping up Champions League qualification as soon as possible, United are expected to come out pressing from the first whistle to break down a Brentford defense that has proven famously solid and disciplined in recent matches. Man United set to hijack Spurs' target. The upcoming summer transfer window is already starting to simmer, with reports emerging that Manchester United are ready to hijack Tottenham Hotspur's pursuit of Bournemouth's defensive stalwart, Marcos Senesi. The Argentine international has become a hot commodity after a string of commanding performances at the heart of the Cherries' backline throughout the current campaign. Word on the street is that Senesi had actually reached an agreement in principle for a free transfer to North London. This move was initially hailed as a massive coup for Spurs, who are desperate to bolster their defensive ranks. However, Manchester United are keeping a very close eye on the situation, aware of a specific clause that could see that verbal commitment scrapped, particularly if Spurs' league position continues to falter. The hierarchy at Old Trafford sees this as a golden opportunity to swoop in and lure the centre-back to the Theatre of Dreams. United's interest is driven by a pressing need for a defender who possesses both top-tier ball distribution and a real knack for interceptions. These attributes are seen as Senesi's bread and butter, as he is renowned for his composure when playing out from the back. Lest we forget, Bournemouth snapped up Senesi from Feyenoord in the summer of 2022 for a modest fee of around £12.6 million. Since then, his market value has skyrocketed as is taken to the intensity of the Premier League like a duck to water. Now, with his contract winding down, he has become an incredibly enticing prospect for the division's heavyweights. The South Coast club will undoubtedly be gutted to see such a prized asset depart without receiving a single penny in return. On the financial front, Senesi is currently thought to be pocketing in the region of £50,000 per week at the Vitality Stadium. Both United and Spurs are expected to offer a hefty pay rise, potentially doubling his current wages, to convince him to buy into their respective long-term projects for next season. Such a lucrative bump in salary reflects his standing as one of the most reliable left-footed centre-halves currently plying their trade in England. The Red Devils are hoping to secure Senesi's signature to add much-needed depth to their defence without breaking the bank on a transfer fee. With profit and sustainability rules tightening the belt across the league, landing a player of Senesi's caliber for free would allow United to splash the cash on their forward line or a holding midfielder instead. It is a savvy bit of business that would suit Sir Jim Ratcliffe's new sporting vision for the club down to the ground. Ultimately, the ball is in Senesi's court, and much will depend on how the chips fall in the final stretch of the season. A key factor will be which club can offer more stability. If Manchester United can provide a more concrete guarantee of European football than Spurs, they'll be in the driving seat to win the race for the rugged defender. A player of his ambition will surely be loath to spend his peak years away from the prestige of continental competition. Spurs, for their part, aren't about to roll over and let a direct rival snatch their primary target. The North London club's management is reportedly in constant dialogue with the players' representatives to ensure the initial agreement holds firm, even as the pressure from Old Trafford ramps up. Roberto De Zerbi is said to be particularly keen on the move, viewing Senesi as a vital cog for his high-octane tactical system. This tug-of-war between two of English football's giants is expected to reach fever pitch once the final whistle blows on the season. Only then will Senesi decide his next destination in the top flight, whether he'll be heading for the bright lights of Old Trafford or beginning a new chapter at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Whichever path he chooses, his arrival is bound to send a real statement of intent to the rest of the Premier League. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comment your opinion.